Azeroth is literally a prison. Sylvanas was right. Mind-blowing revelation. It looks like Doran finally figured out what I've been preaching since when? Since almost when the expansions were announced. That yes, Azeroth is in fact a prison. But let's see what Doran's proof of this is.
Guys, actually mind-blowing stuff. The prison of the primal incarnates is the
Stolen
exact
content.
same thing as the Last Titan logo, the finale of this saga, an elemental prison, and we recently had hints that Azeroth is actually elemental. Incarnates were
hints that she's
asleep
an
inside this
elemental.
prison, much like Azeroth, meaning she might not even be this baby at all, but instead is an ancient imprisoned being inside this worldwide prison. Runes on the prison ring seem like domination magic that Primus created, and
Oh, this fucker. This guy right here. This is the most corrupt asshole in the entire game. I'm almost convinced that Blizzard is going to, in fact, actually flesh out this lore. The Primus is the true jailer. He's the jerk who did everything. All the rune magic and everything, he learned it from the Titans. We can officially, at this point, almost say that anything that has runes on it or domination magic is from the Titans. We know that. I can almost guarantee that's 100% true now, because who are the people that love to control things? The truthers, the one-pathers, the ones who want to lie about everything and you know, keep you in control and keep you down that one true path that they believe is the right path? The Titans. Yeah. Any domination magic, any rune magic, it's from them.
who is the old ally of Primus that gave him his powers of reversing time? Amantul, the lead Titan guy that might have actually sealed this prison. Sylvanas literally told us this world is a prison, and it is likely Sargeras tried to break this prison.
Or it's
as
the
well
opposite. You
recently.
think so? The Primus made the domination magic and gave it to the Titans. That's also possible.
Is why we have the Sword of Sargeras in the War Within. He might not have been the crazy guy we thought he was. He might have been against the Titan
That's
plan of
right.
imprisoning this world, and he resorted to taking Fel to be able to be
Sargeras
powerful
did
enough
nothing
to
wrong.
confront him. I know, crazy stuff, but stay with me here, as this really is mind-boggling when you really dig deep into the info and then connect it with the old hints, as this might just be that vast conspiracy we are going to uncover. If you're struggling with the universal bosses, PvP or Mythic Plus, and
And
are
don't
not sure
forget,
how to advance, getting a coach might help you
Mr.
a lot.
Chris Metzen himself did say that the
Skycoach.gg will match
conspiracies
with pros
that
from
we are
the
going to
top
uncover
100
go
videos
very
who
deep
can teach you everything about
in the
your
next
class, what
expansion.
add-ons
So
to use, how to manage abilities, how to manage
I'm
cooldowns,
starting to believe
as
more and
well
more
as
that this
tactics,
stuff's
so
going
you
to
can
come
master
through.
your class and dominate in both PvP and PvE. Skycoach can save you a lot of time, and they also offer coaching for Diablo, Destiny, FIFA, Call of Duty, and more. Click on the link in the description, get a special discount at
There you
skycoach.gg,
go.
and
Use-
start winning
use his discount.
today. I'm a little late to this party, as this has been a theory that the community has discussed pretty much
Yeah, he probably watched my video. Just kidding. He doesn't watch my
since the
shit.
announcement, but damn, this might
does comment
just
on my
be
shit
the
sometimes.
craziest lore party
One
ever,
time.
like literally some of the craziest lore in the past decade. While we are of course speculating, it can go many ways, it is 100% without a doubt something going on here. This isn't just an random hint, and we may be onto the vast conspiracy that Chris Metzen has talked about
That's
when he
right.
announced the World Soul Saga. So, to get you up to the lore, we actually have absolutely zero idea who Azeroth is. Like, there is not a single bit of 100% concrete information what Azeroth is. We, of course, have multiple biased sources.
It's crazy that we still don't know this, but I honestly think Blizzard has changed who Azeroth is. I do think originally they did think she was going to be another Titan or something, and that has changed over time. When that changed, I'm not exactly sure. But I don't think she's just another Titan anymore.
The entire nascent Titan Soul thing that everyone knows
She's
about
the final
came with the
Titan.
Chronicle like a decade
If she is
ago,
a Titan,
where we
she
were
definitely has
told
to be a special
Azeroth
one.
is a sleeping baby Titan that the Titans can be nurturing so she can awaken and help them order the entire universe. But literally, every single bit of info has confirmed to us that Chronicle is not only not canon, but it is legit just Titan propaganda. Now, recent Dragonflight information, which could be more accurate, has given us some hints that Azeroth is actually elemental in nature, fake hints that she isn't a Titan, and that she's like this neutral force, as elementals are native to most planets. Now, this is just a foreshadowing, but here is
I definitely think Azeroth is a neutral force. I don't think that she's going to be like anti-void or anti-light or anything like that. She is like the balance. She is the Anakin Skywalker. She's going to bring balance to the force.
things get insanely interesting. So when we got the World Soul Saga logos, people came to this crazy realization,
The last
which
Titan could
I'm
be her.
100% behind, by the way, and that is that the prison of the elemental dragons, the primal incarnates, is literally the exact same thing as the logo for the last Titan, the finale of the World Soul Saga. Like, it's not even a maybe, who knows, could be. I mean, just put the two pictures side by side.
It could also be that we kill the last Titan, who is like Amenthul or something, or we kill the Titans and only Sargeras is left, and he's the last Titan. I don't know.
Have a look closely,
A lot of ways to
and you
spin it.
will see that this is it. The ring with the runes are there. It is even the exact same prison shape, and even the little notches in the ring with the runes are the exact same thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is
No, it's
100% without a doubt an actual picture of a prison.
Yes.
Here is why I think this is super
A
relevant.
Titan
Primal
prison.
incarnates are, as we know, natural beings of Azeroth. This is the first prison of a super powerful elemental being that we had seen that was created by Titan beings. If Azeroth is elemental in nature, I mean, this is literally the exact same prison, just on a much smaller scale. I mean, keep in mind, Azeroth was imprisoned by the Titans thousands, like ages ago. These prisons would come much later, so they only kind of repurposed the same designs.
Again, the way that these rings rotate, if you guys pay attention to them, if I play it maybe in slower motion, the way these rings kind of rotate around, I think that's how like the prison mechanism works, is that they continually rotate and that's how they work. That's why I think when Sargeras shoved his sword into the planet, he was trying to stop the rotation of these rings and break the prison open. I don't think he was trying to kill Azeroth.
Repurpose the same
Sargeras did
designs for
nothing
these
wrong.
little guys.
And then,
However,
and then the thing, if you pay attention to that video, it explodes once the rings stop rotating.
when you start examining and like looking at other things,
So if you jam it,
get deep,
you can
things
open
start to get super mind-boggling. First of all, check out this explosion of Farak's prison and then compare it with the whispers we get
Yeah,
of
that's
the
not
World Soul
Azeroth.
from the new cinematic. I mean, keep in mind, Farak is a fire.
That's the outer wall of the prison, right there. That's the outer wall of the prison. That's not Azeroth.
Keep in mind, Farak is a fire elemental. Azeroth may be imprisoned in the core of the planet, which, if we go by that logic, that is fire. Even the logo of the War Within is a fire. Another interesting observation the community noticed is in regards to the three logos of the World Soul Saga, and this is crazy stuff as well. The first expansion shows us like how all of this is cracking, but like slowly cracking at the edges. Then in Midnight, it is fully cracked, but corrupted by
True,
the void.
it's on
However,
crack.
in a lot worse shape. And then we get to the last Titan, which is like this pristine shape, like completely untouched shape that looks like a prison. Honestly, I think these two are layers we're going to go through until we dig deep and reach the actual prison. Now, of course, this is just the start. Things get even crazier, and the entire Sargeras thing starts to actually make sense when you look at it from this angle. He might not have wanted to kill Azeroth.
I don't think he
might
did.
have wanted to break this prison. He didn't
That's
want to
right.
wipe out the world in some foolish crusade. Keep in mind, all of this is info that the Titans have told us. It is very likely he wasn't in on this plan of imprisoning it. He wanted to get rid of the prison, but he couldn't go alone against the whole Pantheon. So he decided to turn to the dark powers of the Fel that he was so experienced with as a champion of the Pantheon. So he used this power to be able to stand against the Pantheon, and he actually defeated him. Now with this, a whole world of new opportunity arises with this realization just from the logo itself. Check this out. Sylvanas starts talking to us like a few years back how this world is a prison, which we all thought was like a complete joke and just stupid at the time, like just some thing that Blizzard didn't even think about. Even more interestingly, these runes of the prison seem to be related to domination magic, which make this even more confusing and even more mind-boggling. Now, before I go crazy on this, let's cover this super interesting observation someone on Reddit noticed. There is this Sphere of Azeroth with 3 rings that we have from Karazhan, with one of them having runes, just like the last Titan logo, while the other rings don't have any runes. What if Sargeras broke one of the rings with his sword, Sylvanas the other when she destroyed the Lich King, and we only got one more remaining that is holding Azeroth? Now, the prison is weak, and this is why Azeroth is actually speaking to all of us now, and why the Dragon Isles suddenly awoke out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense, actually. I hadn't really theorized that yet, that the sword being there kind of maybe broke one of the rings. There's only 2 left. That's possible, and that's why we can hear her now. Sargeras, he was not... I'm not saying he was not a bad guy, because he kind of did some messed up shit at times. I mean, he literally eliminated entire civilizations with the swipe of his sword. But when it came to our planet, he wasn't trying to kill it. He was trying to free it. And, you know, he turned to the Fel and everything like that. But I do want to say one quick thing about the Fel. You look at, I've been dropping this whole theory that the light we use is fake. It's in fact like time magic from the Titans, and the real light is more of like a holy fire, and we're about to figure all that out from the Arathi people in Harrowfall. Uh, if you guys notice, fire right here is also with the Fel. Fel magic is very fiery as well. That just goes back to the fact that the true light is not this, controllable thing. It's more of a disorderly thing. It's a very fiery, holy magic, kind of like Fel magic is. So, was Fel all bad? Was it truly like the end all be all the way we believed it was? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's closer to the true light than we thought.
No, this sounds crazy, but what if it's possible that the Titans
No, he was trying to
created
kill
this
us.
prison
Okay.
through the other cosmological forces? Remember the old presumed alliance between Amantul and Primus, where Amantul helped him become this super powerful being by reversing time and seeing what happened in the past? Domination magic was literally originated by Primus in the Death Realm. Was this a barter where Amantul came to the Shadowlands, exchanged his own power to get domination magic in order to create one of the seals on
maybe,
Azeroth?
yeah.
Literally, it all starts to make sense.
It does
if
start
this
to make
really
sense.
is the case. I mean, I've always wondered, like, why was Amantul in any way connected to the Shadowlands? It made zero.
So if you don't know this, the Primus has the ability to play with time, much like Amanthul, in that he can. So he's a commander, right? He commands the armies of the Shadowlands, and he can envision and see all future possibilities of how battles will end, and that's why he's like a great commander, because he can literally figure out how a battle will end, or how a sequence of battles will go, or how a war will end before it even happens, and then plan out everything accordingly to make sure that he wins. He played us, man. He played us, and he played Zoval. Zoval was not the bad guy. There's just a good history at this point established in World of Warcraft that when we kill somebody, they probably weren't the right bad guy. But hey, we needed the loot, so we killed him.
Sense at the time, and it still does with the currently available lore. Even more interestingly, Blizzard recently started painting Amantul as the lead evil figure in 10.2 documents, as we can discover that he ripped out the first world tree on Azeroth that we just learned about. Now, Zoval must have known about this and the true nature of Azeroth, which is why he wanted to harness his essence, like he knew what was really going on. However, before we start making sense out of all this stuff, let's discuss, like, why would the Titans even want to imprison Azeroth? Like, why would they create a prison on an entire world? First of all, we must focus on the Shadowlands and the Dragonflight documents, as they're the most recent and the most accurate. Shadowlands document say that the Titans are the pretenders of the first ones, and the latter indicate that the Titans very likely might not even originate from the world souls of planets, as they told us, but instead they would have been created within Zeret Ordis, much like how the Eternal Ones were created in Zeret Mortis by the first one. So they have absolutely nothing to do with world souls. That is like just a story they told us. So first of all, at this point, it's like 95% likely that Azeroth is not a Titan and might not even be Ness, and it might just be this ancient being they had imprisoned. Think about like how the Primal Incarnate prisons work, which seem like the same thing, just on a smaller scale. The Primal Incarnates were asleep. They said they heard everything, as we are not told Alexstrasza, but they were completely asleep. Based on this logic, the Titans literally put this being Azeroth to sleep, and as the prison started...
Yeah, what do you do when you sleep? You dream. Where are we right now? The Emerald Dream. We're playing around in some Azerothian dreams, or maybe it's a created dream to try to keep her asleep. And now, what did we do? We brought a world tree out of that dream and into our realm. We've essentially attached the dream to the real world. We've created a bridge, thereby potentially waking Azeroth up.
Breaking recently, she's now awakening, she's whispering to us in like this half sleep, but
we're in a daydream.
Yeah, everything that happened just as she was put to sleep. Now let's dig even deeper. So in Shadowlands, we were told that 6 cosmological forces exist that constantly battled each other. The first ones came in as the 7th one created this neat little order that has kind of kept everything at bay. Now here things start to just get incredibly confusing. Remember,
fire, light, Fel. Connected. What isn't? Order, arcane, these things. Arcane is what the Titans are made of. It's really weird how the light is somewhat associated with them, and yet so far away. How did they associate with the light? They created the Naru.
However, we have the two cosmological charts,
saying.
most importantly the more relevant one from the Shadowlands that is a lot less Titan biased. Azeroth is always in the middle, and it seems like she is behind this entire artificial cycle, the life and death and everything that is going on. Azeroth seems to be holding all
N'Zoth's
the
whispers
entire
definitely
universe
hint
together.
at the
It
world
is
tree
implied
coming in and
that
everything.
the first ones disappeared at some point, and that the Titans are like the first one role players. They just kind of like order, but they're not the actual first ones that actually create order. This artificial cycle and order, when you think about it, actually suits the Titans despite not being a natural occurrence. They want this to be a thing because if the structure is destroyed, everything just kind of goes into chaos. So they might have decided to create a crazy prison over this planet, a whole bunch of their bases, a whole bunch of protectors and everything so that no one can destroy it, because if it was just left in the open, the Void would invade as they did and every other force. The Void wants to get rid of it, Death wants to get rid of it as chaos suits these forces. So then the Titans decide to create a pact. Like some parts of Death, like Primus, even though chaotic, may realize that this works better than endless chaos, because through this artificial cycle they get fed souls through a funnel. Not exactly ideal, but better than all-out war, because as we learned in the past, the Void just straight out.
Hold on real quick on this. This is the Cosmo chart, the new one. There's a tree. There's a tree. What's the tree closer to? You know, shadow. Just real quick. The lines from N'Zoth. Right? The lines from N'Zoth. And what was one in particular that he says that sounds a lot like the tree? With many eyes they will see again. They will drink and be uplifted. Deeper. Deeper its roots will reach. We've just planted a world tree into our world. It's got roots. I'm sure it's growing. Welcoming our embrace. Yeah, as those roots get deeper, it'll welcome their embrace. Her dreams sing beneath the surface. Our dreams, our song. This is a crazy line, because this makes it seem like Azeroth's world soul is somewhat associated with the old gods. And then there's this whole theory that the Emerald Dream is in fact an old god dream, like it's created by the old gods and they own the Emerald Dream. There's crazy shit. It goes deep, as he says. It goes real deep. But he's definitely talking, I would say N'Zoth's whisper here is definitely talking about the world tree, and he's definitely talking about Azeroth right here. So did we fuck up by bringing this world tree in? Probably.
You get fed souls through a funnel. Not exactly ideal, but better than all-out war, because as
The
we
old
learned in
gods
the
are
past, the
Azeroth's
Void
children.
just straight
It's
out
possible.
invaded the Shadowlands as well as the Light. So in this case, they might even get the entire
Could
Death
be that
Realm
Azeroth's an
destroyed.
old
So
god,
it's
I
better
don't
to have this artificial peace where they just get fed
Or a
a
Void
little bit
Lord.
of souls, but it's peace at least. It is likely that parts of Death, the Titans, and potentially the Light as well, created some sort of a pact to imprison Azeroth and maintain this, while the others might have been wanting to actually destroy this mechanism so that chaos can ensue everywhere. Now, what Azeroth is super hard to say, but some theories say that she could actually be a first one, or one of the first ones, the creators of all these beings that have been imprisoned by them, which is why Azeroth is so incredibly powerful, and also why life on Azeroth is just so ridiculously powerful, why we've been able to defeat everyone that attacked us. I know this is definitely a bit of an unhinged speculation, as we don't really have all that much to work with, but I think this is all 100% related to this vast conspiracy that Chris Metzen said is going to be uncovered. Keep in mind,
There
this
is a conspiracy, that is
universe-wide
confirmed.
conspiracy that everyone is in except for us. Jailer knew what was up, Zalatat knew what was up, Sargeras knew, Titans knew, everyone except us that are just kind of caught in the middle of this. What I'm almost entirely certain though is that Azeroth is not actually a baby, especially not a baby Titan, but it is inside of a prison, very likely a Titan
This
prison.
whole thing that Azeroth is growing and in hibernation and she's gonna hatch, that I think that theory's gone. At this point, it's gone. She is in fact ready, but she's been put to sleep and imprisoned this entire time.
Influenced by other cosmological.
By the way, all these prison and shit. Look at all these ruins. Look at all this shit. Look at all this domination ruin magic everywhere. Come on.
Prison, very likely a Titan prison,
Very
influenced by other cosmological forces. I think everyone is kind of fighting for themselves, and we are just the ones that are caught in the middle, just learning all this stuff. However, based on what we know right now, this really does seem like a super crazy conspiracy.
Full
It
head of
might
hair
be one
for
of the most
sure, Moshi.
interesting lore in really the past decade, if they do it right. Thank you for watching. Check out Why is the Night Elven Capital a Horde City by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient colonies in Spain by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Yeah, I mean, He figured out a lot of what we figured out. The whole elemental thing, I'm still unsure of. What I could tell you is that Azeroth is something different. I don't think she's just another Titan. She's definitely, if she is a Titan, she's more powerful. But she could be Void associated again with what Nazat said, or she could be something that we've never seen before, something in between. Who knows? But we'll find out in the next expansions. At least that's what Chris said.